Davao City is a first-class, highly urbanized city in the Davao region, with a land area that makes it the Philippines' largest city. The city's growth pattern is focused on low-rise construction, which has resulted in a linear city covering large tracts of land with low average densities. Generally, we can observe structures are built parallel to the river and the Davao Gulf and the major roads coursing through the city. Residential, institutional, commercial, and industrial built-up areas account for only 10% of the total land area. As city development rises, the city's linear form becomes an example of a Hoyt sector model. Progressive growth of the city becomes a factor with this monocentric growth trend. As a progressive city, many commercial areas have been built along major roads and highways, indicating developmental ribbon patterns. The commercial establishments vary from generally small, medium, and large commercial complexes. In the past 10 years, the expansion of the commercial establishments in Bahada, Matina, Lanang, and Buhangin, led by malls and commercial establishments. The city's transition from sector model to a multi-nuclei model. This will promote more long-term growth while reducing the negative effects of urbanization. Designated subcenters will draw a greater daytime population by providing more offices, schools, commerce, industry, and entertainment. The HLURB guidelines do not offer much information on the placemaking of commercial zones in a city. Rather, it only serves as a reminder of various implementing rules and regulations to be observed in any zone. So, as highlighted in the HLURB guidelines, there are 3 levels of commercial areas: C1, C2, C3. C1 being light commercial, which only goes up from 1 story to 3-story height of shopping centers or small offices or mixed use of occupancy buildings. It only serves a neighborhood or a community level. C2 is a medium commercial, which is a municipal or city level of commercial use or occupancy. It is a medium to high intensity commercial or trade, service, and business activities, which can be as high as 3 to 5 stories of shopping centers, medium to large office or mixed-use occupancy building structures. C3 is a metropolitan commercial, which serves a metropolitan level of commercial, which can be medium to high-rise building for high to very high intensity commercial or trade. Right now in Davao City, there are only light commercial and medium commercial zones. If we observe the development of the commercial areas from 1995 to the present, we can see that the city's commercial center was in the Poblacion area, near the river and the Davao Gulf. By 2011, commercial areas have expanded within the Poblacion area and along major roads of the city, reminiscent of a transport-oriented and Hoyt sector model development. However, a monocentric growth heavily concentrated in the Poblacion area, paired with the increase in population and economic activities, has forced the new settlements further away from the CBD due to high land prices. Urban sprawl was inevitable for the city. These settlements in Toril, Bunawan, and Mintal has attracted commercial establishments, creating suburban centers. These suburban centers are reflected in the latest Clue, part of the spatial development strategy of Davao, catering to the aforementioned budding suburban centers. The current development of the city looks a lot like a multi-nuclei model.
The way we communicate, travel, consume, and socialize had been molded by the pandemic restrictions. Carlos Moreno, a scientific director and professor specializing in complex system and innovation at University of Paris, believes that there will never be a return to city life as it was before the coronavirus struck. A new model for urban planning that seems almost custom-built for localized future. The 15-minute city. The concept is to improve quality of life by creating cities where everything a resident needs can be reached within a quarter of an hour by foot or by bike. The 15-minute city requires minimal travel among housing, offices, restaurants, parks, hospitals, and cultural venues. Each neighborhood should fulfill 6 social functions: living, working, supplying, caring, learning, and enjoying. A 15-minute city principles are accessible to all, promoting local procedure, promoting active leisure, walkable streets, incorporating play zones, promoting soft mobility, enabling passive recreation, and meeting your daily retail needs.